of year show. Ollie London joins us, everybody. Give him a nice round of applause. Ollie London, former trans Korean, now going back from...
Now an elf.
Hang on.
Don't be the house elf.
Korean woman. Now you're going back the other way to being a...
I'm an elf now, but back to being me.
Back to being you. Good. Mm-hmm. Well, we like you. How have you felt? They did give me loads of questions to ask you. This wasn't one. How did you feel heading towards being a woman? Did you feel that everybody was taking the mick out of you, and then you decided you wanted to come back, or what?
Yeah, I just really was so unhappy, and I thought that was the solution to my problems. I thought, maybe putting on a dress, having hair extensions, having some facial surgery would make me happy, and I realised that was actually very silly, a little bit crazy, and it didn't fulfil me at all. So, thankfully, I found myself. I'm now back to being me. I'm even growing a beard. It's not quite as good as yours, James or Ash, but I'm trying to grow a beard.
There,
yeah.
It's taken a few weeks, but I'm getting there.
You're rocking it.
Yeah,
it's nice.
The only problem with growing a beard, you do need to cut it off over and over again to get it to grow
I've
back.
got a spare one here, look.
Oh, you have to keep
might
getting
need
rid of
that
it
one,
to get it
then.
to grow thicker.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And sorry,
This is my merkin, but you could use it on your face.
Should I try it on?
Smell too bad.
Guys, quiet. Do you know what a merkin is?
I actually don't. You might have to explain that one.
Okay. Oh, right. Well, would you like to explain what a merkin
Well, yeah, in the old
Go on,
days,
Ash.
when you got a bit of syphilis, you go, oh no, but
Syphilis?
don't worry, because you could put this on you as a pubic wig and it would cover all the, pustules. And you get back down to business.
Do you know that?
As a
It
Victorian
is a-
prostitute.
Pubic wig, yeah.
I'll give that one a miss then.
all the rage.
I think all the pustules forget.
Yeah.
But this used to...
Well, you can with one of those.
I would like to see you just stood naked with that on you. Yeah.
All right.
This was a fashion thing in those days, and it's basically a pubic wig. I'd never heard of it before.
Yeah, of course you had.
Many years ago when we were doing a programme on it. Okay, wish I hadn't gone quite that far. But anyway, you're back, and we've got a bit of your... You've been doing a new album. Mm-hmm. Tell us about the album.
So, yeah, I've just released a new Christmas song, Christmas Bells of Korea. I've done an acoustic version. It's just a very feel-good song. It's fun, and I've done a dance version as well. And I'm releasing my final album in January. And then I'm going to retire from music and focus on more pressing issues like politics and activism.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Before we do that, and I want to get straight onto that as soon as we've done it, let's have a look at this album and a little bit of promotion for it. I make absolutely no apologies for being just an advertising vehicle for your new album.
Oh, well, I
I
appreciate that.
apologise for it.
Christmas bells are ringing. I can hear them singing, and it sounds so crystal clear. No wishing, babe, 'cause you are here. Christmas bells, they ring out. They ring like they do every year. No wishing, babe, 'cause you are near. With bells, both kisses and Christmas trees. The bells in Korea ring. Glory to the newborn king. Peace on earth and mercy mild. Glory to the newborn king. Ring now, ring with joy. And the bells in Korea ring. Ring now, ring with joy. Glory to the newborn king. I know you're the brightest star on the Christmas tree. 'Cause Christmas with you and me is all it should be. Christmas bells, they ring out. They ring out joy to the world. I'm glad that you were here with me. With ice skates cold.
Well, there we are. I thought that was amazing. Didn't
That was
you?
fantastic, actually.
I
I
have
changed my
never
mind about that.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
nearly as good. Well, it's difficult whether the digestive biscuits and
Well, dark
Tea for
chocolate
two.
digestive biscuits.
the
beautiful,
tea for two
and
that Ross
biscuits.
Lee did earlier.
Tea and biscuits,
I thought
yeah.
that was good too. So I think this is the only place to see the best songs of Christmas.
apart from the
Now,
wild Christmas song.
Can we not talk about that? It's an
Well, they keep
embarrassment.
playing it. Sticking
Yeah,
around.
it really is one of those that. Have you heard it?
I actually haven't, but I'll
No,
give it a
you
listen
don't want
after.
it.
No,
yeah.
you don't.
Should do
You
a cover.
I
Korean
sort of-
version.
I sat there singing it once in about 40 years ago in a studio,
Chuck's brought it back.
and Chuck has found it and sticks it on whenever he can, which is annoying.
He's good at finding things, Chuck, innit?
Very good, man.
Before we do anything else, I want to get out of the way this whole business about why you would actually record a song for Korea, because Korea is probably it doesn't really have a religion that anybody knows about. So why? I think that's a good thing, by the way. I think that's really fun.
Yeah, you know, again, it's obviously I'm back to being me, but I still love Korea. So I always like to give a gift every Christmas. I always do a Korean Christmas song, and the Korean people seem to love it. People on TikTok seem to love it, and I just think, you know, they don't really celebrate Christmas in the traditional sense that we do, but they still like all the decorations. They don't really do.
What's the main religion out in Korea?
They're not
There
that
isn't one.
religious.
Is it
I
Buddhism
mean,
or is it?
they have Buddhism, they have Christianity as well, and they have some unusual kind of cult
So what do they
churches.
do at the end of the year?
They party. They like to party. They love drinking alcohol. It's called soju. They are obsessed with drinking, so they just drink and they just
Yeah.
party a lot. So
And so
no.
when you've, I mean, quite seriously, when you've brought these songs out, they have actually sold well. You are making money out of this. It is don't be embarrassed about it. It is a commercial thing that you do.
Funnily enough, my Christmas song from 2 years ago, Christmas in Korea, is actually my highest selling song. It's had millions of streams. It's done extremely well.
Do you get royalties from it every year? like
I
Noddy
get
Holder?
royalties. I get, you know, even in the summer, people listen to it. It's been used
yeah.
like 26,000 times on TikTok.
You get millions, not just thousands.
No, I don't make
Not-
millions from the
No,
music.
no, I know, but
Yeah,
you get
yeah.
millions of people
Viewers.
watching it. That will, before the revenue get excited. But that
Yeah.
that does make you enough money to live on during the year.
Yeah, but I do so many other things as
Yeah,
well.
no,
But
exactly, but-
The actual Christmas song is my biggest hit. It's the best one, and it keeps me going. I've just released a new one. It hasn't quite taken off just yet, but you know, people seem to love my Christmas songs more than anything else. So,
And this is a
yeah.
country where they're not even interested in Christmas, really.
Not really. They just like the decorations and
They
the
just
festivity.
like you, don't they?
They find me entertaining. They find me a laugh, and they like my
fi-
music.
Do
Yeah.
they find you in I mean, presumably because of what you do and how well you are a big star in Korea. So
Yeah.
do you ever get to meet people like the Korean, I don't know, minister for this, prime minister, whatever, and says, "I'm not very happy." I nearly did the impersonation.
Yeah, don't do that.
Do you know this is not doing our image much good or not?
No.
Or does Kim Jong Un ever get a hold of
That's
you on the
North
phone?
Korea.
Yeah, no. Does he ever get on hold of you on the phone and say, "Great, carry on, Ollie. We really love what you're doing"?
You know, I'm
So I was
sure
gonna do it
Kim
that
is a
way.
fan. I'm sure Kim's a fan. I'm sure
Yeah.
he'd probably want me to perform. You know, maybe I can negotiate peace. For
You
a
and
few
Dennis
countries.
Rodman.
He loves Dennis Rodman.
He loves Dennis
I think he'll
Rodman.
probably secretly be a fan of mine. He'll be singing
Of course
Christmas
he
in
will.
Korea.
Definitely.
But no, the Korean. I do know some government ministers and stuff, but they actually think I'm an ambassador for their country. They think it's nice that I'm always obsessed with their country, but I'm always talking about it. You know, they think
Well, you
why
are
not?
obsessed, but,
I'm an
you know, there's
honorary
nothing wrong with
Korean. Yeah.
But anyway, what is this bloke doing here?
Oh, the snowflake.
Frosty the
back.
Snowflake. What do you want now? What's gone wrong now?
Well, I just wanted to say a little word about the Cambridge Dictionary. Have you heard what's happened?
Yeah, they've said a woman can be a biological man in the definition. Yeah,
Or a man can be a woman.
And a
Depends
man
what
can
you
be
want
a
to say.
biological man.
On a serious note, though, what do you think of this whole business now? And it's getting to people in universities where they're suddenly saying, "Oh, well, you know, anybody should be able to identify as anything they want." And this is something. And please don't take. You know, I like you.
I know.
This is something that has disturbed a lot of people. And people have got very well. I don't feel like a man. I'm not sure if I'm gay. And now it's got to a situation where a crowd of people have said, "Oh, I'm trans. I can be anything I want." Got very nasty with a bunch of people that I think are probably having serious sort of sensitive issues in their heads about
Yeah.
whether they're men or women.
Well, I saw a load of trans activists attacking a load of lesbians in Washington yesterday, trying to rip. And this is terrible because obviously they're physically stronger, and the world's going a bit mad, and they're getting violent now.
I mean, it's become a joke. I mean, the fact that the dictionary has now changed the definition of a man and a woman is just absurd. I mean, it's so offensive to women in particular, but it's just become a joke. And you're right, these radical activists are very violent. I mean, I was invited to, when I was in New York recently, there was a women's protest with the lady Posey Parker, who's a feminist. And, you know, I didn't go because they were very violent. You know, they were spitting on people, they were trying to punch people. So I know I would have got beaten up because I was on all the TV shows, American America. I'm their number one target right now, and they're so violent. And you think, why can't you just have a dialogue? Why can't you have a sensible discussion?
They're fascists now.
They've become, it's Antifa. They've become almost like terrorists. They're very violent. They're causing problems. And I was speaking with someone the other day that's very active in politics in America, and they were saying it was actually a charity, and they were saying that they've had these Antifa activists beat them up in the street, follow them, stalk them, call their workplace to try and get them fired, all for the fact that they're against these crazy pronouns, and all for the fact they're against kids being groomed in a sense, and trying to force these views on kids, and people that are speaking up are scared because they're getting beaten up or they're getting
Are you
attacked.
worried to the extent that you've had to hire your own security people, or are you okay at the moment?
I mean, I always have security if I'm doing like an event, like if I'm doing a K-pop event or something, just because some of the K-pop fans can be a bit crazy with me. But I feel like in America, I definitely need that. The UK is very safe, but America's very divided, and you have these very violent people in places like Portland, Oregon. It's constant people rioting, and they're extremely violent. They walk around the streets with guns, and someone like me would be a prime target. And there are people that get attacked or killed based on the fact that they're speaking up against these gender ideologies. I mean, look at the way women are treated. Women are completely vilified just for, like that lady Posey Parker.
They get beaten up, like I said yesterday.
By men.
By men who you say they're now women.
I mean, I'm sorry to suddenly bring our conversations down to this fairly serious level, but on this program, you never know where we're going to go. That's why I enjoy doing it so much. So the Cambridge Dictionary has now updated its definition of women to include anybody. A woman is somebody who identifies as female. So if you identify as female, you are a woman, whether you have male or female genitalia, you're a woman. If you say you feel female, whether you're a man or a woman. And that's confused me even just saying it. So why can't we just get on in the world? But, you can't really, because the hormones of somebody... Now, I'm going through a hormone treatment at the moment. It's making me quite strange. If they've all been warned.
You've always been a bit
Strange than
strange.
normal.
But it is something that I think we need to address, because it has become more prevalent than it needed to be, because this is a minority of a minority, and I think we should think about this quite sensibly and quite seriously before we go on taking the mick out of it. Because if you come up and there's a university, the Cambridge Dictionary is a very serious and usually a very sensible item, and for this to come up and say this, it is taking this debate to a level it really doesn't deserve to be at. And a lot of other things are doing exactly the same thing. They're giving credence to an argument that doesn't deserve to... I'm taking this off for a moment.
Well, a dictionary is meant to be...
doesn't actually deserve to have
A
it.
dictionary is meant to be, a reflection, not an instruction. So have Cambridge now saying that that's what the public think, that a woman... I think it was more a trans woman should be a separate thing, shouldn't it?
Yeah, separate description.
Yeah, give them their own words. Why take a woman's right to exist?
Exactly.
Why take away from a woman, or why take away from a man? Just make up your own word if you have to. Yeah,
It's ridiculous, man.
But you see, I mean, I can understand when you were concerned about whether you were a man or a woman, and you wanted to make this point, and it was very important to you. But then it's been taken over to some people who've drifted it into a different section of the debate.
Yeah.
It's just become so politicised. And why are we even talking about this? Why is it even important what pronouns people
Is
have?
it since J.K. Rowling? I mean, she was right to come out, but it's ever since then it's because we already accepted trans bit. But
Yeah, I mean, the majority of society accepts anyone, whoever you are. It doesn't matter. People don't judge. I don't judge people. We don't judge people. But, this is, again, in the minority, like 0.03% of the population. Why are we talking about this every day? Why are, these dictionaries, which are meant to be official language dictionaries, causing all this, uproar? It's not important. Let's focus on something that's important, like the kids in schools that are being taught these ideas that are not normal and not healthy. Why don't we talk about that instead of constantly talking about pronouns, all this, silliness?
Well, we've seen the damage it did with that hospital that was transitioning kids when they were too young and they changed their mind. Like
the Tavistock Clinic, it's closed down now because of what they were doing, and the NHS
disgrace.
have changed their advice. But how many kids did they ruin, their lives of?
Unbelievable.
Sorry to do that right at the end of the show, but I have. Ollie, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks,
we will
guys.
talk, I'm sure, in 2023. And thank you very much indeed. Of course, the most charming ex-child's television
Danielle. Yeah.
Danielle Nicholson.
She doesn't have to wear a
your stiff
flattening
hat.
bra.